Let me just make you host. Okay, Omar, I just made you host. Started recording.
Okay, Shakib bhai.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyone has any doubts to revise before we jump on to the next topic? Anyone has any doubt, queries to sort out? Yes, guys. No one? All are sorted with whatever has been taught till date? Okay, so now let's progress with the next topic. So exception handling, you all have been practicing.
Sir,
Yes,
yes. Sir. Question, sir, is that is a space between a name and spatial character was not completed. I will try it, but not done. I tried, but not done.
You tried that. Show me.
Yes.
So you're trying to find special character in Java.
Sir, can you explain it, sir? Space
You were trying to share your code, right?
between name and spatial character.
Name and special character means?
Space between name and spatial character.
Yeah, so the name should not contain a space, nor should it contain any special character, correct?
Yes, sir, right,
So
sir.
space, so we could do it by equal to equal to. So now you are
Yes.
trying to ask that the name should not also contain space character.
Yes, sir.
How do we restrict that? How do we restrict a Java string?
Sir, can you share your screen?
No, I am not. I have nothing to share right now. I'm just discussing with Shabana. I'm just looking out for some answers for how do you restrict a special character in a
Verbally.
no, not verbally. Let me search for the solution.
Okay.
Let me search for the solution that how we can restrict a special
I
character.
tried on GitHub, but it's not a properly answered. It shows some code, but not running properly. I tried in a GitHub.
Okay. Let's check. No worries.
I send you code. So I personally send you code, sir.
Okay, for that we have something called as a regular expression. So yeah, for such cases, no, we can use our regular expressions. Okay, let me give you all a demo of how a regular expression works. So maybe that will help us understand the topic better. If I show you on my screen, this is where I'm looking for the solution. You all see my screen? And this is what the query I had typed. What does it say?
Yes, sir.
So what does it read? So this is a bit, let's take this solution. Let's take this solution. My Eclipse. Okay. So we had done over here, right? Invalidative exception. We can keep the first two lines because we'll be needing a string from the user. This can be deleted, not required. This we can keep because we will be needing a string from the user. So I've made the main empty. So I say, please enter your name. And then I scan it using next into a string. Now, what all things should that name have? Only small a to z and only capital A to z, correct? Apart from that, anything else you want in the name?
Yes.
So now let me paste this code and remove whatever is unnecessary. This is because we've taken from the user. So okay, he's named as S1, so let's name it as S1. Let some errors get deleted. And now we take a pattern. This is called as a regular expression. Okay. So if you want that a string should have certain characters only, then we can use regular expression.
It's totally bounced, sir.
No, I haven't started explaining. I haven't started explaining it. Once you get to understand it, then we can comment whether it is bounced or not. Okay, see, Control Shift O to import the classes. So it's asking for pattern and matcher class to be imported. So Control Shift O imported the classes. Okay, so it is still now telling. Now, what is it asking for now?
Under which
Here.
class the commits the pattern
Is
or
enter
this
your
one's
name.
matcher?
Okay, so now if over here someone enters, let's say Virat. Okay, now I take a pattern and I tell that I only want small a to z and capital A to z in my string. So is this matching with any of
Yes.
these?
Yes, sir.
Is this matching?
Yes, sir.
Is this matching?
Mm-hmm.
This all are matching. Now this
Yes.
space, have I given a space?
No, there is no space.
So what I do is now I take a matcher class and I match this pattern, which is P, on the string S1. Okay. I have made a pattern which I want to match one with string. This S1 string, correct? Okay, first let's run this code and check. Then we can say. Okay, so if someone enters over here, Alice, the capital A. what should we tell? No special characters found in the string 1. Okay, let's run again.
Space.
Yeah, Alice Ben. No special characters found.
And sir,
We also want
space
that.
is the considering, no, sir?
Yeah, it should not consider space also, right?
Yes.
It is. So I have just given that I want A to Z and A to Z. I have removed the space also. There was space over here, which I eliminated. So let's check. Less than. Still no special characters found. So okay, now if I say this, it is deducting special character is being checked for. Is just now that we have to eliminate the space. Okay, if I enter Alice 1, let's say, does it detect that? Yeah, it is saying, so we can throw the exception. Now it's just about matter of having space. Okay, it should not also take a space. So if I say ALICE, it says no special characters found when we have a space in it. So it should not even take a space. How do we restrict that? How do we restrict that? White space matching REG EX. Slash S, it is telling. It is telling slash S.
What is the rule of white space, sir?
White space is the blank space only.
So,
Space bar is
can we
white.
use here the white space method?
That regex now is a different library which does, like, let's say if you have a PAN card, okay, if someone has a PAN card, so does anyone, you know what's the format of a PAN card? It contains how many? 10 digits.
Character and as well as a digit.
Yeah, so total length is 10 digit, right? So total length is 10 digits. So it contains first 4 characters.
Capital letter and then.
This is the
Number.
format of our PAN
Yes.
card, correct?
Yes, sir, right,
So
correct.
if I want a string to be entered in this format only,
Yes,
for
we
that
can.
we use regex. So we tell that from A to Z and capital A to Z, enter the first 4. Okay. Then, so this will come in one set. And then second set will be what?
Numeric.
Between 0 to 9.
Right.
I want the next 4, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Next one.
So first 5 are the characters, sorry. So
Then sir, first 5, if you take a first 5, then starting first 5 now.
yeah, starting first 5. And
Okay.
like, so this is the format of a PAN card. First 5
So what is
characters,
PAN
next
card? I mean,
4.
are you talking about the hard drive or USB drive?
No, PAN card is something with the taxation in India. When in India, if you are
For income tax or
you're a
like this.
taxpayer, that is
There
mapped
is
to your,
ID.
Map is for the taxpayers in India. It's a card issued to them. Here, so see. So if I want the data to be in this format only, so I will say A to Z, was capital A to Z or small a to Z. The first five, these are first five will be from this only.
Right.
Then from the next four, I want from 0 to 9 only.
Mhm.
And then the last I want from this. So this are called as regular expression, which is shortcut as reg X. So if you want a data in a particular format, we can use reg X. The shortcut for regular expression is
Reg EX.
reg X. So this library we
Comes
are
under
using over here.
which package, sir? Comes under which package is a Reg EX?
See here. All these patterns and matches. You
All
see?
are come in a util.
Util.regex.matcher and util.pattern.
Okay.
Okay. So here you can just search for it. Okay.
So space is. You can say.
Java.
Sorry, but today class a little confusing. Can you repeat from the beginning if you don't mind, sir?
One second. I'll just come to solution first. Then I'll
Sure, sir.
explain it to you. See, regex to check. You see this? Digit, lowercase, uppercase, white spacing is percentage star star. You can add negative. Okay, let's add to that. Let me come to a solution first, Farooq. And once I get the solution, I'll explain what I'm trying to do.
All right, sir. No problem.
Why is it detecting this space? Space I don't want, right? That's what I've done over here. Want. Yes. Okay, Shabana. Shabana, give me any input now which you want to test for.
As for what, sir?
Give me any input which you want to test for. See, I entered 1.
Sir, we can see Stack Overflow page, sir, only.
Okay, sorry. Now,
Yes, sir.
yeah, so now
Okay.
give me any input which you all want to test for and we'll see whether the output is coming. Farooq?
Name,
Farooq,
many
you there?
names, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now see what you're trying to test is this is the use case. First, understand the use case, then I'll explain the code. Okay, Farooq? We are asking
Okay,
the
sir.
user that he should enter a name which does not contain. So if you are asking the user enter his first name rather, what we are asking the user enter his.
First name.
The first name should not contain any special characters, not contain digits, should not contain space, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I enter this is valid.
Yes.
So it is saying, now what happened? Why is it telling special characters?
Then no special character.
Which character did it contain as special character? I'm just asking for A to Z and A to Z. Yeah. Again, it is saying special characters. So here is the issue. At any position, it can continue. Get this out of it. Now do what now? So there's some exception in the REG EX. It doesn't. Why is this happening? I'm not understanding. It also is popping up special characters.
You give a
I just
name space.
there.
Just try with
All of them in one pattern. So it says all lowercase. Using this, check password contain at least one. Okay, it says at least one. Ahead, not any unwanted characters like. Okay, it should not contain any unwanted character space. Characters depending whether you want example. Yeah, so I removed the let me come here and put all of them together in one. Here it's contain special characters. So this implies it doesn't contain space. I don't know why. That's wrong. Okay, this is a very important one. Contains only one. Okay, let me research on this, guys. I'll get back to you all on this. REG EX. We'll have a session on this REG EX and see what we can do with it. For this matches. Okay, we'll take up with the next session. Instead of wasting time on this. Just park it someone, and maybe on Monday we have an extra session, right? On that day, I'll take this regular expression. Let me research on this, how this actually operates. And we'll take such use cases that if I want a string which should have a particular format, then how do we do that in your Java regular expressions? Okay. So
Okay, sir.
next topic, what see, as we are on strings, let's discuss strings today. So what is a string? In short, I can say it's an array of
Characters, yes.
characters. So if I have a string over here,
So array does not contain index. I mean, in this case,
yes, a string is an array of characters. So if you have a string, let's say Microsoft, whatever. So this in double quotes, it becomes a string. And now internally it is represented as like this. 0 index M, 1 index I, 2 index C, O, like this it's represented in Java. And each one is a character. So this the character M. Character I, character C. So it's an array of characters. Internally, the string is split into an array of characters. So now if you want to display F, F is at which index? If I want to display F,
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3,
7,
7.
like this, we have the indexes for each number, correct? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 8. So if I want to display F, how will I say? So let's say the string, okay, S1 equals to Microsoft. So this is what we made. So how will I display F now? SOP S1 dot char at. What do you say?
S1 dot caret
Which index?
7.
So this will display you.
F.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now in string, there is a very important concept called as string pool. Called as,
Today's topic is a string, sir.
yeah, today we'll take string. Do you have any queries in exception handling?
Sir, I have, but okay. You start your string topic.
Yeah, tell me what you have. Shabana, what?
Sir, user defined exceptions is not clear. There is some issues.
User defined exception. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
sir, one thing is, what is the exception propagation? I just learned in the Google.
Yeah, that is what is exception delegation.
Okay.
Exception delegation. When one method is not handling it, it will delegate it to
Other one.
another method.
So propagation is referred to delegation.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Okay, 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 sir.
If you're not handling it, you throw it and someone else will handle it.
Okay.
Okay. And at times also happens with the parent child also. So if the child class is throwing an exception, then the parent class can also catch that exception. So coming back to user defined exception, what? Yes, which example were you struggling with, Miss?
Sir, same, sir. This one, case sensitive space, and other one is a different question based on a user defined exception, sir.
See, this is a scenario based question. You are struggling with this
Ah.
that how do I extract a
Hmm.
string which does not have. So this is not a question to be struggling with user defined exception. You are struggling that I am not able to find a string which is having special characters and spaces, correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
That is in the topic of strings. Then you're struggling with the strings chapter, which we have started today. So, user-defined exception is you can throw the exception and catch it. Throw your own exception and catch it. That is your user-defined exception. So if I do this program, you're just struggling with a special character, right? We are doing this question with space and Shabana, this program, if it contains a space, we are catching the space. If it contains a digit, we are catching the digit. It is just a matter of we are not able to catch the special characters, correct?
Right, sir, correct.
So you are struggling with finding special characters in a string. That is your query. So your query is not user-defined exception. It is I am not able to extract a string which contains special characters. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what difficulty are you having with user-defined exception? Tell me.
That is the package name or a class name, how we inherit it.
Means
For example, when we write invalid name exceptions come under which package, sir?
this is our user-defined exception. It will come in our package. As it is a user-defined exception, it will come in a user-defined package, which is test package over here.
Okay.
All your user-defined classes are placed in the packages which you create. Now, in which package is this student class? In which package?
Test package. Test package.
Yeah, so student class is a user-defined class, correct?
Yes, sir.
Student class
We
is
declare that class. Yes.
similarly invalid name exception is a user-defined class. It is also the test package. See the
Yes, sir.
package over here.
Yes. Yes. Sir.
Yes, miss, are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
So user-defined classes are in the user-defined packages. You have to make your own package and put that in the class. Put that class in the package. So did you get this low quantity exception example?
Yes, sir.
So what are you not understanding in user-defined exception?
So here is only one issues occur is the name of exceptions, how we write and method of writing the name and how I call it. There is a little bit issues. That's it. Nothing else, sir.
You are naming the
Little bit
exception,
issues.
correct? This
Yes, sir.
exception is named by the programmer. So the programmer knows what he has named. So you are trying to say this is a very big name exception. I cannot remember it. Is this what you're trying to ask?
No, it's not like that.
Then what is the issue with user-defined exceptions?
Sir, when we write the name of exception with the message is fixed or any message.
Whenever you are throwing the exception, whenever you throw the exception, what message you give, that message will come. So if you are trying to say throw low quantity exception, okay, we are outside the method.
So here we use the throws or throw. Because we user depend, right, sir? To throw, sir, right in a try block, right, sir?
So whatever message you pass over here, that message will be given. So if you want to pass invalid quantity, you can pass invalid quantity. And if you want At any other point of time, you want to throw the same exception and you want to pass any other message, you can pass that also. Please enter quantity greater than 500. So whenever you are throwing the exception, whatever message you want to pass, you can pass. This will keep on changing as if you wish to.
Okay, sir.
This will come in try catch because whatever you throw in a try block, right?
Right, sir.
Hmm.
Catch block is always, sir, would read the message, sir.
If it is thrown,
Uh-huh.
it goes to the appropriate catch block,
Hmm.
and whatever object is thrown, you should have a corresponding catch block for
And name and object name. So E2 is called a object or a variable. It's called a object of exception class.
yeah. It's a reference rather because object is made by the new keyword.
Reference,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Object which is
Yes,
being-
sir, right, sir.
this object which
Absolutely
is
right, sir.
thrown
Sir, done, sir.
being referred to by
I understand, sir. E2 is a reference to a low quantity exceptions.
So this is thrown and this is being pointed by this one. Connector.
Okay. Sir, Mr. Nawaz, sir, ask a question, is a 0 is divided by 0.0 something, sir, question. Can you explain the, sir?
Yeah, I got a question.
Master, sir, asking a question, sir, 0.0 is divided by 0.0, then what's the answer? And 0.2
this is
is
very-
divided by,
This is
yes,
double, right?
yes.
So it will not lead to any exception. As it is a double,
Hmm.
so for that we'll have to comment out on this. Okay, so as this is a double divided by double, for this logic,
It shows
it will throw a not a number,
yes.
not an exception.
Why, sir, it shows a not a number, 0 not counted in number, sir?
One second, let's try with this 0 now. This should throw an exception, correct?
Right. 0 is
Here
divided by
here,
0.
Then it should throw an exception. So it will say nan and then throw an exception.
Arithmetic exception. So 0 is counted as a number and 0.0 is not counted as a number, right, sir?
Let's check it out. So you see my screen? Divided by 0.0. Does not throw exception to child. Here it says two numbers double and this. So why doesn't it throw? This is the answer for it. Implement standard floating point math, which mandates division by 0 to return infinity. So if it would violate this standard, IEEE 754 standard. So the IEEE 74 standard is used while dividing by when the denominator is a floating point number. So, and this IEEE standard says that if you are dividing by a floating point number and denominator is 0, throw infinity. Throw what? So if I don't throw infinity, it will violate this standard. That's why divide by 0 doesn't throw an exception. Who understood this first paragraph? Read from here. Read this first paragraph. Yes, anyone can read it for us? Yes.
So Java's float and double types like pretty much any other language out there, and pretty much any hardware FP unit implement the IEEE 754 standard for floating point math, which mandates division by zero to return a special infinity value. Throwing an exception would actually violate that standard.
So as per Java, to do any mathematical operation on a float or a double type, Java follows the IEEE 754 standard. And this 754 standard dictates that if the denominator is a floating point zero, that answer should be a answer should be
Infinity.
infinity.
I mean, so it's a general math rule.
Yeah, general
Yes,
math
yeah.
rule if we are following this standard IEEE 754. So division with regards to an integer follow the different standard. Division with regards to double and float follow the different standard. So the division by double follows this standard, and this standard says that if your denominator is zero, you return infinity, and infinity cannot be a number. So it says NaN, not a number. And if you divide by an integer, this standard is not followed. Then we can throw an exception.
Sir, what is this standard? I mean, if we go for arithmetic rules, then
Arithmetic
if
rule goes,
dividing any integer with zero is infinity.
see, or what this is trying to say. You also have print screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So applying arithmetic rules. Arithmetic rules means your primary.
Right.
Okay. Now this says if you apply these rules to an integer, what will happen? And if you apply it to a double of float, what will happen? Okay. So this
Okay.
rule will apply to an integer type. This rule will apply to a float or
Double.
this says the float and double type, it uses IEEE standard 754. This standard dictates that if your denominator is a zero, which in this case will be 0.0 because it's a float or double, correct?
Correct.
Then it says you display infinity. What do you display?
Infinity.
Infinity. And here if I divide by 0, this says throw the arithmetic exception. So it all depends on what type of data you're working with. If you're working with a float or double and applying the arithmetic rules to it. So one of the rules of the IEEE 754 standards dictates that if the denominator is 0, you display infinity, and infinity is not a number. So it displays not a number.
Sir, in this scenario, when we 0.0 is divided by a 0.0, then answer is what? Infinity or none?
So if you want to change the numerator.
Yes, 0.0 is divided by 0.0. Not 1, sir. 0.0.
Yeah, that is what it came. No, it came to infinity, and infinity.
So 0.0 is divided by 0. It shows a none in place of infinity.
Correct.
Right. So when we use here not a 0.0 in a numerator side, we use here any number like 1.0, yeah, 0.2, yeah, 2.0. Take a infinity.
Here you're trying to say?
The answer will
Yes,
remain
sir.
the same.
Yes.
I mean, if it's a double.
1.0, numerator is also a double or float. 1.0, yeah, 0.2, yeah, 2.0, whatever.
Answer will remain the same.
Yeah.
No. Infinity. It shows an infinity. Check it.
Yeah, it shows infinity, yes. So if the numerator is and apart from 0, it will show infinity. And if it is 0, it will show not a number. So these are all standards of the IEEE 754 standards. So it says over here, it's special value infinity. If I divide by 0, and only if the numerator also is 0, then it shows not a number. Because ideally, if the numerator and denominator is same, it should give you 1, right?
Right.
7 divided by 7 should give you 1. So in the case when the numerator and denominator is same, it should give you 1 as the value. But over here, it dictates that it won't give you 1, it will give you not a number. So neither infinity nor 1, but not a number.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, Shabana, anything else you want to ask on this question, or you feel you've got the answer?
Okay, sir.
Yes. Anything else query you have? We can keep this as a query solving session today.
Yes, sir.
We've already finished half of the session. So if anyone has any difficulties, can highlight it, or else we can start with strings. So tell me if anyone has any
So
other.
I don't have any question.
See, I am a more inclined towards solving technical questions like this. This is, I realize it is a more technical and it will be used in the day-to-day implementations. These are all general knowledge questions. I'm not a big fan of GK and general knowledge questions, like what will happen if I change this and what will happen if I change that. Okay, acceptable, it is there, but these such questions don't excite me much. Yeah, if there's a problem solving question, sir, there's a problem that in the name I don't want special characters, neither I want spaces. Now how do I solve this problem? So yeah, that questions I like solving. Trivial questions, general knowledge questions, or your
What is the difference between the compile time error or a syntax error?
compile time error or a
Syntax error.
syntax error? Syntax error, I guess you know that if I miss a semicolon, something of that, when the grammar of the code is incorrect, that is a syntax error.
Okay. Mhm.
If
Pattern of the code, block missing,
Mhm.
right, sir? Curly braces missing, spelling mistake missing, all are these in a syntax
These are all
error?
syntax errors, yeah. So whatever.
What's the, I mean, can we say a compile time error is equal to a syntax error? Both are same. Can we say that?
File, yeah, syntax error will be detected as compile time. So unless and until you resolve the syntax error, the code will not compile. So see, the whatever is restricting your code compilation. So if you see a red dot over here, okay, you see this scroll bar.
Yes, sir.
Besides that, if I see a red dot, so if I eliminate, so what all things can lead to that red dot? Tell me. If I remove the P, will that show me the red dot?
No, not showing here.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, right.
So
Now,
this is a syntax error, correct?
yes.
Can the code compile now?
No, it's not compiling.
That error which will not allow the code to compile is your compile time error. If it is because of a syntax, it is a syntax error.
Okay.
If I remove
We
this,
can say that on compile time error is referred to syntax error. We can say that.
yes, compile time error is a syntax error.
Okay.
Anything which will lead to a red dot over here is your compile time error. So if I remove this and if I remove this curly bracket, is there a red dot? Yes, it is. You saw a dot over here, right? So, which will not allow the code to compile is your compile time error. Okay. An exception will occur at runtime. Exception will occur at
Okay,
runtime.
complete your answer.
So in exception, the code will compile successfully, will also
Mhm.
execute. There will not be any red. But at the runtime, it will throw some sort of exception that the code is terminated. Then you have to handle that exception if you don't want the code to terminate.
Sir, check type exception follow which package, sir?
Check type exception follow.
Which type of package?
Check type exception. Extend the
Sir,
exception.
like java.util, java.lang package is package, na sir?
In the exception class, which is in the lang package.
Okay, sir,
IO exception. This is
check type.
This is check type exception, IO exception. So in which
IO exception, yes sir. Input output exception is
IO exception.
so
various exceptions will be in different classes.
so how we remember, sir, all package name?
Let's say if I have SQL exception, which package is this exception? This is in the which package?
Java.sql.sql exception.
Exception. That is when you will deal with the exception, you know which package that exception is. And if it is a child of the exception class, then it's a checked exception. Except all the runtime exceptions are unchecked exceptions. If it inherits from the runtime exception, then it is unchecked. And SQL directly extends from exception. So if I go to this, if I hit the control key, and take my pointer over here, this will turn into a hyperlink. Is this hyperlink right now? Now if I hit the control key, it will become a hyperlink. Yes, you see?
Yes, sir, right, sir. Control keys. Yes. Control
I
with
hit the
press.
control key and now I go over here. It says what? Extends which exception?
Java.lang exception.
And so directly it is extending from the exception class, correct?
Wow, sir. Yes.
So it is which exception now? Checked exception. Which exception?
Check exception.
And if you extend on the runtime exception, then if you extend on the runtime exception, then what?
Unchecked.
So if I go over here and I say throws arithmetic exception, so now if I hit the control key and go here, extend from which exception?
Runtime exception.
So it is a what?
Java.io.serial.
No, if it is extending from runtime exception.
Okay.
What?
Okay, but line number 41, sir. What is this, sir?
This is an annotation. This is for serialization. So I'm talking about which type of exception is arithmetic exception.
So extend runtime exception.
So what type of exception it is? Checked or unchecked?
Unchecked, sir.
So directly you can make out like this.
Runtime
Just going
exception.
in that
Okay.
class and checking out.
Okay, sir.
It is importing, okay?
Okay, sir.
And runtime exception, if you show here, it is on which package? It is on the lang package.
Java.lang.
Has anyone else has any queries? Or should we start with the strings? Yes, Farooq, Mehtab, Ataullah, aren't you all having any queries? Aren't you all
Not at that time, sir. You can
Not
start the
for
stream.
now, sir.
See, queries will come to those who are practicing.
Yes, sir.
So that is a sign, an indication of how much that candidate is practicing. So it will be proportional, the queries will be proportional to the hours of practice. So if one candidate is asking multiple queries, means that candidate is giving multiple hours. And if another candidates are not asking a single query, then I have a question mark as to how many number of hours they are committed to this course. So because it cannot happen that I have no queries. That is a very unrealistic scenario, that I don't have any queries at all. So let's start with strings then today. So what is a string basically? What is a string? Give an example of a string. No, I just wrote Microsoft. Where is that?
String shows the characters word.
Array of characters. What are strings?
Double inverted commas.
Yeah, so if I have a string, let's say, so and each, so this is a string. So I give it in double quotes.
Yes, sir.
So it is an array of characters. So you'll have indexes. This will be a 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index. So if I want to find a character at any particular index, I can use the char add function. Okay. Have you heard of Java string pool? Okay, let's
No.
do that. Very interesting. Okay, have you heard of the equals method in Java?
Yes, sir.
What does it do?
Is used for a comparison between two strings. Is the equal or not?
Comparison between two strings. And the equal to then?
Equal to is comparison between
Variable. Can say
No, string. We are talking with regards to chapter strings.
string.
Yeah, with regards to chapter of strings, what are these two? So equals to equal to does content comparison.
Content. Yes.
right
What does it do?
content comparison, and double equal to comparison a reference.
Yes, correct. It does reference comparison. So if you want to compare the references of both the string are same or not, you use equal to. And if you want to check the content of the two strings are same or not, you will use equals. Okay. So I'll give you examples. So for this, we have to understand the string pool of Java. Okay. So today we'll discuss about the string pool. So the memory is allocated to variables from a heap. Okay, heap is a part of the memory to which the variables are allotted memory. It is called as heap memory. The string pool is a part of the heap. The string pool, let's take a different color, and I'll take a different. So this blue part I will call as the heap. So what is heap? First sentence, what will you write? It's a part of the heap memory. Okay. Now, string is a class, correct? String is a class. It is written with the capital S. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to make a string object, how do I make a string object? How do I make object in a class?
S1,
String-
S2.
String
can
as equal
send-
to new string.
Yes. New S1 is equal to new string. S string.
Okay,
Bracket.
what name you want to give to it? This is one way of making a string, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct, sir.
Another way of making a string is directly you can say
String S2 equal to directly we can double inverted comma and name.
What is the difference between creating the string by these two ways?
Sir, first one is the class and second one is the in the data type and variable S2. S2 declare a string type, its name is a ban.
See, if I use the first technique, S1, this will not go to the string pool. Okay, this is a string pool. This blue is what? Heap is the red one, no? Heap is the red one. What is this? This is the string pool is a part of the heap. So when I make an object using the new keyword, okay, it allocates memory outside the string pool. So this object is now allotted memory outside the string pool. Okay, I'll make a different color. And now what is the content of this? What is the content?
Ben Alice.
Alice. And then it has been given some address. Let's say at 1000 this is stored. Okay. And who is pointing to this 1000?
S1.
S1. Correct? The reference S1. And when I make a string with the directly equal to, and not using the constructor. So you can say string made with the string constructor and string made without the string constructor, correct? I'm talking about style A and B. So how will you explain style A and style B? Tell me. Style A is string made. What does this which method is called over here? After the new, when I give the class name.
Constructor of.
Constructor of the string class, correct?
All right, sir.
Which constructor? Parameterized or non-parameterized?
Parameterize, sir.
So if I make an object of the string using the parameterized string class constructor, then it directly goes to outside the string pool, creates the object and returns the reference, correct? But when I make it directly with the equal to operator without using the constructor, it first goes and searches in the string pool. Searches in the
String pool.
Is there any string by Ben in the string pool? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Where the string pool looks empty. Which
No,
question?
sir.
Okay, no, not yet. Sir.
So does the string pool contain any string with the string Ben?
No.
No,
It
no.
doesn't. So it will go and create one string.
Sir, if I'm not wrong, the condition on A, we can change the value of S1, but in S2, the value is
No.
hard-coded.
No, not like that. I'll explain. Okay. So now, was there any string by Ben in the string pool? Yes.
Now
No,
we have.
no, before this.
No.
So it searched, they did not find a string, it created a string, add some memory address to it, and returned the reference. Who is pointing to this Ben now?
S2.
S2.
S2. You'll get it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if I say string S3 equals to Ben. Now what happens?
S3 is also pointing to 2000 reference.
Yes, so as I'm making this using equal to, it will go and first search in the string pool. That is this string existing. Is the string existing, Ben? Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it can possible.
It is possible. So it will ask this new reference to point to that same address. It will not create a new string. Is this making sense to you all? So string pool, no, is Java maintains it that if there is a repeatedly used string, no need to allocate new memory to it again and again. We can just reuse that memory. Okay. Okay. Now if I say string S4 equals to new string Alice. Now what?
S4 is a reference to S1's
No, that only happens in the string pool.
okay.
That only is a feature of the string pool. So again, a new object will be made by the name Alice.
Okay, right, sir.
I will point to it. Yes. So who is trying to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir. I understand, sir. Because we use here a new string. New string is create a new space for S4 reference.
Yes, outside the string pool, correct?
Out.
Making sense to you all? Okay, now if I say string S.
Sir, can we say that a string pool is used for only variables, not for object?
Yeah, only for string variables you can say that. Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Now if I say string 5 is new string Ben, now what? And this address is 3000.
Sir,
Okay?
here is a new area allocate for string 5. S5 is name is a Ben.
Correct. Okay, as we're using new keyword, so directly it will make a new area, Ben address as 6000, and we'll point to it.
Like as a classroom appointment
5 will point. Okay.
allotted a new bench for a new student.
You got that? Okay, now I will explain what is equals and equals and equal to equal to.
Sir,
Now tell me if
sir, I have a question, sir. Sir,
Mhm.
if I make string S6
Okay,
equal to new string and in bracket S4. So, sir, what happens? Sir?
good question.
Yes, it's a very good question.
Good question. So he says if I make string S4 equals to new string, okay, S6, right?
Yes,
It's
S6.
New
create
string
Yes.
of
a servo new space and its
S4.
name is a S4
Yes, sir,
reference.
correct. Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, so as per my understanding, as it is made by new keyword, it will
Yes.
make a space for it, Amir,
Hmm.
at
And
7000, whatever address you are giving.
Okay.
it's take a S4
Content of
S4
that will
containing
be
a
S4
Alice is 1000. Right, sir?
and this is 1000. Okay, Amir.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, we'll just cross check with this. We'll cross check all the scenarios.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so what does equals function do?
Content comparison.
Content comparison. So if I say S2 dot equals S5, will it give me true or false?
Yes, sir. True, sir. It shows a true.
Why true?
Sir, it's
We check content.
The content
yes,
is same or what?
content comparison,
Yes.
both are same, Ben.
No, this will give me true, correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now if I say S2 dot equals S1, S dot equals S1, true or false?
False, sir.
And S6 is pointing over here, right? Yes, guys, anyone else has any other question, answer?
False, sir. S2 is Ben and S1 is Alice. Then you use a dot equal to.
So equals is saying false, but it is content are not the same. Okay, now if I say S1 and equal to S4.
S1 is equal S4. No, false, sir.
Why false?
Because the reference is change.
Reference is same, right? Because S1 is pointing to 1000 and S4 pointing to 3000. 1000, 3000 are not same, so it will give you false, correct?
Sir.
And if I say S1 dot equals S4,
S1 equal to S4. Yes, sir, it's a true.
because content is same. At S1 I
Content
have
is the
Alice,
same.
and S4 also I have Alice. Content is same.
Sir, what happened if we write here S6 equal to S4?
1 second, this is true, right? Yeah, now tell me S1, S6.
S6 equal to S4.
So where is S6 pointing to?
S6 is pointing to 7000 and S4 is both are same address.
No, S4 is pointing to 3000. This is S4.
S6, sir. S6 pointing to us. Sir, S6.
Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. 1 second. This is your S4.
Okay. But sir, okay.
Yeah, tell me now, what is your concern?
Sir, line is string S6 equal to string S4. Then S4 is passing to new object for S6 reference.
Yeah.
Then S6 is double equal to S4. In this scenario, we can say that true.
S6 is pointing to where? Which address?
This one, sir, last one line, sir.
Yeah, last one, na? So
Yes, sir.
equal to means you're trying to show reference comparison.
Yes, sir. So when you
Pointing to
S4
which
is
S6
so what is the
pointing to which address I'm asking?
S6 pointing to a reference of S4
S6
new string, new string, whatever new string, 7000.
7000. S4 is
Yes.
pointing to,
3000.
are they both address same?
No,
You should give
so
you.
false.
Yes. Let's try to check this out, okay? Anything else you want to check out? Okay, so let's try to write this code and try to check this out. So who will help me with this part, string S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 and S6? Who can help me? Someone take a screenshot. Someone take a screenshot of this left side and then prompt me. Taken? So I switch now. Yeah, tell me. Okay, so now I can make a new package, no string. I'm not doing the exception, I'm not going to override the exceptions.
String S1 equal to
1 second, let me make a new package. String demo. String demo. The source I go and I make a new class. And then main. Yeah, tell me now. String S1
String.
equals to
new string bracket Alice and double inverted comma Alice semicolon. String S2 equal to Ben.
S2 equals
Equal to double inverted commas Ben semicolon.
okay.
Next one is string S3 equal to Ben again, same spelling. Next line, string S4 equal to new string Alice.
S4 equals to new string, Alice, or only direct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Same line, sir.
Okay, next S5 then.
S5 equal to new string ban.
New string then. And
S6 equal to new string S4.
S4. Yeah,
Yes.
first thing, what are we comparing now?
First we comparing us S1 S1 equal to S5.
S
Sir, एक मिनट dot equal to sir वो
equals.
yes sir dot equals
Equals function, yeah.
sorry
Equal.
dot equals
Which one?
bracket S5.
S5. Yeah, next. What will this give you?
True.
Okay, now next.
S2 dot equals
S2 dot equals.
S1.
What will this
It
give you?
shows a false.
Okay.
S1 equal to S4.
What will this give you?
False.
Okay.
S1 dot equals S4. Next sir.
Dot equals S4.
4. True.
Okay, next.
Next is a S6 equal to S4. It shows false.
False. Okay.
Yes.
So if I get the output as true, false, false, true, false, we are correct, right?
Yes.
Where is the console? Window, appearance, and show view and console. Okay.
First false, but sir, first S1 dot equal to our shows a true. Wow. And false.
Second. So
Then
what
false.
is S1?
S1 dot 5.
What is NS1?
S1 is the Alice.
And what is
5 is the
Here
Ben.
is sir S4
Ben.
type, sir, please. For S1 dot equals S4.
what will this give you now?
True.
Okay.
Let's check.
So now are we okay?
Yes, sir.
True, false, false,
True,
true, false.
false. Sir, yes, right. True and false. Right, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's understood string pool now? Got it? Reference comparison and content comparison.
Okay.
Okay. And what is mutable? What is immutable? What is mutable property of Java? What is immutable? String is immutable. What is string?
Immutable means
Means it cannot be modified. Immutable means cannot be modified. So if I make a string, okay, S1 equals to Alice, okay, and then I say S1 dot concat, and I say Ben, and I say S1 equals. Okay, now this changes which is happening in the S1 string will happen at a new address. Will happen at a
New address.
new address. Will not happen at the same address. Okay. So the example you can think of is there is a family of a father and a son. Father and a son. The son is small, so they stay in a 1 BHK. One bedroom, hall, kitchen. This is the bedroom. This is the hall, kitchen. But this is a very prominent area, very expensive area they stay. Okay. Now the son has become 23, 24 years of old, and they are planning for his marriage. Now, will this 1 BHK suffice for them? Will this 1 BHK sufficient?
No, sir.
And over here they have all their stuff. Okay, so they have their bed, double bed, they have their cabinet, dining table, wardrobe, all this is there in this house, correct? So now will this 1 BHK be sufficient after the marriage of the son? So they'll be needing a 2-bedroom, correct?
Yes.
But now they don't. Now can they just now this is one flat and this is the neighboring flat, okay, and they have a wall in between. So now can they just break this wall and extend the flat? Is it possible? Is it possible that they just break this wall and extend the neighboring flat also in within their flat? They have not paid for
If
it. They don't have the budget to buy such an expensive flat in an expensive area. So what do you think they should do? So if they sell this flat, okay, so in an expensive area, if they sell a 1 BHK, in a lesser area, they can get a 2 BHK of that same cost, correct? So this is a less expensive area. I will not say cheap area, but less expensive. Very expensive area. So if they sell a 1 BHK in expensive area, they can buy a 2 BHK in a less expensive area. So now they go and buy this property, which has a hall and 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. Okay, so if this address was 1000, now will this address be same or will the address change of the new flat?
change address.
And now will they have to move the stuff from there or not? Move the bed to the new address
Yes,
or
sir.
not?
Yes, sir.
So now this bed will go to this bedroom. And now this cabinet which is there in the hall will go to the new hall. This wardrobe which is there in the bedroom will go to the new bedroom. And over here they will buy some extra furniture. So this they cannot do any modification at this place. Whatever happens at the new address. So you cannot change the state of this. This is called as immutable. It's called as what?
Immutable.
So in the lockdown, you would hear this a lot, that the virus has mutated. The virus has changed its state. So that virus was mutable or immutable.
Mutable.
But string is what?
Immutable.
Immutable means whatever addition is happening cannot happen at that very address. For that, it has to go to the next address, correct?
Yes.
So now, my question is the reference of S1 and S2 same? So if I say SOP, S1 equals to S2, will it be same or not?
S2 equal to S1. Both are equals. Then the reference comparison, if both are same,
Address are different.
So is the address
yes,
of this expensive area and less expensive area same or different?
different, sir.
Different.
So when I do equal to, it compares the references. So
Right, sir.
the address of the
It's
first
not.
string, and after
Mhm.
modification,
Sir, it's
storing it
immutable.
in a next string, are the
So
address
it's a
of
false, sir. False.
false, right?
Right, sir.
Check it. So this you'll have got, right? So I'm dumping it on the chat. Ataullah can pick it up and put it on the WhatsApp. You'll have got it. Okay, I've sent it to everyone. Okay, now let's change this. And let's try to see what I'm trying to show. So string S1 equals to Alice, and string S2 equals to S1 dot concat and Ben. And now my question is, what will this give you? This is my question. Will it give you a true or will it give you a false? Yes, guys. So in a string, does the concatenation happen at the very same address?
Mm-hmm.
Does it? This string
Sir,
is
false.
immutable. Once
According to false.
you make a
Yes, sir.
string, you cannot modify the string at that very address. Whatever modification happens at a new address. So let's try to run it. Let's try to prove it. What it is telling?
False.
False. Because whatever changes has happened at a new address, correct? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
strings are immutable. Strings are.
Immutable.
So how can you explain that? If I ask, please explain. How are strings immutable?
String can change their state according to situations.
That is called mutable. Changing the state is called mutable. I'm asking strings are immutable.
Sir, immutable object, those cannot change their state.
And so if it changes,
After
if I do any changes to the string, will it change at the very address or will it go at a new address and change?
it will be mutable.
If I display over here S2, what will it display me? What is the concat meaning? Concat means up, you join, right? Append.
Point.
So what is
Yes.
S2? So if I display S1, what is S1 and what is S2 now? Tell me. What is in S1?
S1 is a reference of the string
Alice.
Alice and
So what will
S2
it
is
display? Alice, right?
Yes,
yes.
sir.
This display.
Alice
Concat
Ben.
Alice, then you're joining.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
has the changes happened at the same address or at a different address?
Different address.
Different address.
I'm comparing what over here?
Address.
Address reference. Yes.
So in term of reference, string is immutable.
Immutable. Yes. So if
Yes.
any changes happens to the
It change.
string,
It cannot change their address or state.
if any changes happen at
Stability
the
state.
string, it will not happen at that address. It will happen at a new address. Now this 1000 string is immutable. You cannot make any changes over here. So if I say string S1 equals to Alice. So this goes in the string pool, correct? Makes a string by what name? Alice. Has some address associated to it. And who is pointing to that address? S1, correct? So now if I make any modification in this string, that modification will not happen at S1. So now if I make any modification, if I say S1, if I say S1 dot concat, and if I say Ben, now what am I adding to the string?
Ben.
So will it add Ben over here itself? Will it add the changes at 1000 itself? Yes or no? String is immutable. String is
Immutable.
means it cannot change its content. It cannot change its content. So this Alice now cannot be tampered with. If you want to make Alice Ben, you have to go to a new address. So that changes will happen at a new address, not at 1000. This is what I'm trying to show.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
At 2000. And now who is pointing at 2000?
S2.
S2.
So now I am comparing the reference of S1 and S2. Are they same?
No.
So that will be
No.
In term of reference, it's not the same.
yes. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. So and string buffer is mutable. String buffer is mutable. String buffer, whatever changes happen at the same address. So if I say a string called as Alice pointed by 1000, so it will look something like this. Correct? So if I say, I'll remove all this. Okay. So if I say string buffer S1 equals to new string buffer, and I put in it Alice. So it should look something like this. That I have a string Alice who is pointed at address 1000 and who is pointing to it S1, correct? And in string buffer we have something called as append. We have something called as what? So by the S1 dot append Ben, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen over here? It will add the Ben at the very same index, the very same place. Ben will be added over here itself. It will not go to any new address. So that's why we can say string buffer is mutable. The state of the string buffer can change.
So what's the role of string buffer?
If it is used for mutable strings.
No, I mean, sir, function of string buffer, sir.
One second, let's clarify this. And now, if I say this is S2 equals to S1 dot append. Now where is S2 pointing to also now? Where is S2 pointing to? Same place, because modification has happened at the same place. And now if I say SOP S1 equal to S2, what will it give you, true or false? Where are S1 and S2 pointing to?
Both have same reference pointing,
So
1000.
It should give you true there, correct?
But sir, I can't understand the append method and the role of the string buffer. Can you explain one more time, please, sir?
See, what I'm trying to tell you is first understand the mutable and immutable part. Then where we apply string buffer, I will show you. First,
Okay.
is clear what is mutable and what is immutable. So my first task is to get this into your mind that you understand these two terms. So I made a string buffer S2 which is pointing to null. So where is S2 pointing to right now?
Okay.
So let's start from the very first line. Where is S2 pointing to? Where is S2 pointing to? Line number 1. Null, correct?
Nothing.
Then I make a new string buffer Alice and it gets memory at 1000. So where is S1 pointing to?
Alice Ben. 1000
Alice.
Where is
reference.
S1 pointing to? At this, I'm going line by line. I'm coming line by line. So line number 1,
Okay.
it gave
Line
me,
number 1 pointing null.
yeah. Then I wrote line number 2.
Line number 2
It gave me,
pointing 1000
correct?
reference. Yes.
And then I say S1 dot append. So what am I appending?
And
Ben.
Alice?
So
Ben, sorry.
to Alice, I'm appending Ben. So I get over here Ben, correct? And now who is pointing to this new appending?
Sir, just my wait, sir. Concate and append both are same method, sir.
Yes, both are same. They do the same task, but in different classes. Concat is for string and append is for string buffer.
Okay.
So now when I appended Ben, now I made the S2 point to it. Now S2 is pointing to null. Now where is S2 pointing to? Where the append has happened. And the append has happened at the same location because string buffer is.
Alice come band.
And now if I say S1 equal to S2, what will it give me?
True.
Because they both are
sir,
pointing to the same location, correct? Let's try to test this. This is what I'm trying to show.
yes, sir.
This is what I'm trying to show. 1 second.
Okay, so we can say that string can change the stability of address, but in case of buffer, it cannot. It can not change the.
Yes. So
Sorry, I'm wrong.
Address. You
So
can
I,
say
Address.
I take what is the first line? Who will give me the first line now? I have a string buffer S2 which is pointing to null, correct?
yes.
So I have a string buffer S2 which is pointing to null.
None.
Then I have
Okay.
a string buffer S1 which is a new string buffer and having what? Alice, correct? And then what I do? S1 dot append. And what do I append? Ben. And now who is pointing to this new append?
S2.
S2. And now I sys out S1 equal to S2. What will this give me?
True, sir.
So if I can show true means string buffer is
Pointing to the same address.
yes. Got it?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Farooq, Ataullah.
Sir, string is immutable, refers to reference, right, sir?
Yes, who's got this concept in the head clearly without any gray areas? String buffer and string. Yes, Amir,
String, yes, sir, I got yes.
crystal clear.
Yes, sir. String is yes, sir.
Sandeep,
String is immutable, reference to refers to reference, and a string is mutable, refers to string buffer.
Yeah, so what is the meaning of mutable and immutable? This is what I'm trying to ask. Mutable means if I make that string, later on I can change the string at the very same address. That is
Yes,
called mutable. And
mutable.
immutable means if I make the string,
Opposite of
I
yes.
cannot change it at the same address.
Change.
If it changes,
Yes,
it
sir.
is at a new address. Yeah, are you getting
Not
it?
at not at the same address.
Yeah, that is immutable. Yes, guys.
Sir, in immutable address will be changed, but mutable address remains same.
Yes. So you can make the modifications. It's just that whether
Yes,
that
based on the
modification,
yes.
correct?
Yes, sir.
So this I wanted to go into little detailing and explain it very slowly. The concept of what is string and what is string buffer and what is string pool. Okay, and then you all know what are the stereotype string methods. If I want to find the length of a string, which is the method?
str length.
Is it are you doing programming in C language?
No, sorry, sir.
Are you becoming a full stack C developer?
What,
So if I have a string f name equals to Virat, and how many characters are there in Virat? How many
5
characters are there? So how will I display that?
string dot length string
F name dot
name dot name. Yes, a length.
okay, so that will give you the length of the string. Okay, other functions what you know of string? What is if I want to display the first occurrence of I? At what index has the I occurred first? What is the position of the first I?
One position.
One position. Yes.
X1.
So which method do you have for that?
Character at.
We have index of I. We have what? Index of. So index of which character am I looking for? Index of
I.
I. So what is the index of character I?
1.
1. Yeah.
Okay, Shabana, now coming to your query. Sir, where will I use string buffer, right? That is what you're asking.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if I give you a use case that you have a file, in that file you have some content. Let's say it is your resume. Okay, it is your resume, so it is a file, Word file. So minimize, maximize, cancel. Okay, so it's a Word file you have. In that Word file you have some data. Okay, so my name is Alice, blah blah blah. Okay, I want to read this content of the file into a program, into a Java program. Okay, so this red rectangle is your Java program, black rectangle is your file, and your file is resume.txt. Okay,
Okay.
and now this content, if I take a string, if I take a
String.
and I name that as file content, and if I want to read this file character by character, okay, I want to read the file by character by character. So which character will I read first?
Resume dot RESUM
That is the name
resume
over
dot
there.
txt.
That is the name. That is the name. Content is over here.
Mhm.
So I want
My
to read this
name
file
is
character by character. I want to read one character at a time. I want to read this file.
MY.
Okay, so first it will read M, right?
Yes.
So now your file content is having blank, correct?
Hmm.
So let's say it is at address 1000. File content is of string or string buffer?
File content is
Yes.
string.
Yes. What type? String or string buffer? File content variable is of what type? String or string buffer?
String buffer.
I am asking you.
Achha.
Read over here, see over here what I'm trying to show.
String file content. String file content is
What type of variable is this?
buffer.
String buffer.
String.
This is of what type, Amir? Is not there. Is it there? Amir, this variable string file content is of what type? This file content variable is of what type?
Okay, string type, sir, not a buffer
It
type,
is
sir.
these to answer them. So this is a string. So it is mutable or immutable?
Immutable.
Immutable. So what is the address of that? 1000. And who is
Hmm.
pointing to it? File content. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So at the moment, flight content is pointing to 1000 having nothing in it, blank in it, correct?
Right, sir.
Now I copy the first character. What do I read?
M.
I add it to the file content. So empty plus M becomes M.
Hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Empty plus M will become what?
M.
M. So now what will happen? So this string will become M, correct?
Yes, sir.
At the same address or at the different address?
Different address.
So now this will go to the next address and it will become 2000. And what will 2000 contain?
My name is Alice.
Only M. I'm reading character
Okay.
by character.
Okay, okay.
The next, what will it read?
Y.
Y. So I have to add Y also.
Yes.
So M plus Y, right? Because now it is having M. So M plus Y. What will that become?
My.
My. So my will happen at the same address or at different address?
Same address.
No, it's a string. It's a string, not a string buffer.
Okay. So it's a different address.
And this F file pointer will keep on pointing to the new. So now this file was pointing to 1000. Now it will come and point to 2000, correct? And now is there any reference pointing to 1000? Is there any reference pointing to 1000?
Right now, no.
So it becomes garbage and it will be collected by garbage collector. So if there's any object to which no reference is pointing, such an object is called as garbage.
Okay.
Garbage collector will collect this. Now when I add M plus Y, what will it become? My, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this my will take place at a new address, right?
Yes, sir.
That will be 3000.
Hmm.
So every time something new is being added in the string, it is changing
Okay.
the address each time, correct?
Hmm.
So if the file contains 1000 characters, how many
Hmm.
addresses have been generated?
Until and unless the string is not ended.
So if I have 1000 characters in this file has 1000 characters. So how many times will I change the address?
1000 times.
And how many garbage objects have I made on the way?
999.
So is this increase the performance or will it decrease the performance?
Increase the performance because it also a garbage values are deleted
Increase.
continuously.
This will increase the performance. So if someone is shifting 12 times in a year,
No,
every
it's
month,
a
month,
decrease. I think decrease, sir.
and similarly, if I would use string buffer instead of string in this case, if I would have used string buffer, if it was empty initially, then it would add M to it. So where would it add M? At which address?
1000, whatever.
It would add Y to it. Where would it add Y?
Hmm.
So at the same address, all these changes would make. So which would be faster, string or string buffer?
String buffer.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir, I
It was
understand,
blank
sir.
first. Then this blank became M at the same address. Then this M became MY at the same address. Then this MY became MY space at the same address. Then MY space N at the same address. So all the changes are happening at the same address itself. So no need to relocate, no need for garbage collection. So which
Okay,
is
sir.
faster?
Right, sir. I understand, sir.
Got it? The concept.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
When to use string and when to use string buffer.
Yes, sir.
Now index of. Okay, now this is starting the search from which index?
0 index.
So at what index did it get I?
Sir, it's the confused is the first and last, but it take a first one. Start with 0, then
Index
it's
of
take
I
a
will
first time.
always take the first occurrence. Always take the.
Yes.
First occurrence, yes.
So starting from the start, where is the first I coming? It
One position, sir.
At 1.
is showing over here 1.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now I want to start the searching from the 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth index. I want to start searching for the fourth index. Now,
Then it last one, sir. It shows the last one I.
so if you want that, then for that you have index of which character you want to search and from which position you want to start the searching. Start searching from which index?
Fourth index start. That
So
it
now where
shows.
is now at which index will the I come now? So this is
10.
E is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3,
3,
4,
4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now
Yes,
this
sir.
will be 10.
Its answer is a 10.
And this answer is if I
1.
just search for the character, it will start searching from the start. And now you are saying search for the character, but start from this index. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I want that we have made email addresses, okay, and Alice is also a SCS. So is this a valid SCS email address? Is this
Yes.
a valid SCS email address?
Hmm.
And is this a valid SCS email address? By mistake, the person wrote this. So which is a valid email address? First or second?
Sir, actually both are
Our company,
valid, but the name of site is when SCS, then we take a first one.
I am
Else
saying
both are valid.
our company email address. I am saying
Okay, then line number 5, sir. String email 1. Alice SCS.
which is valid, which is invalid,
Valid, sir.
which is valid.
Line number 5, sir. Line number 5 is valid.
Number 5 is valid, right? So if I want to do, I can say sys out. Okay. So email 1 dot ends with. So if a string is ending with what is valid? So is email 1 valid?
Fifth one, sir. Fifth line.
My question is email 1 valid?
Alice@scs.com is valid.
And is my question, I should say, valid SCS email address, not a valid email address. I want it to be of our company only.
Okay.
So is email 1 a valid SCS email address?
SCS.com.
So this will give you true or false.
First one is true
And
for,
second one,
for line number 5.
and
And
second one,
yes, sir. Second one is not true. It's not valid, sir.
so you say true and false, correct?
Yes.
So we have such methods of string class, which you can use to check whether a string ends with a particular character or not. Okay. So we have many functions of strings you can play around with. Okay. Character at, index at, length, and compare and equal to and concat. I just give you a heads up of few functions today. Today I give you which function did I give you all today? Of strings.
Yes. Equal to, double equal
I
to,
gave you
and
double equal to the
concatenate.
operator. Double equal
Yes,
to
sir.
operator. Then I gave you what index of.
Yes, sir.
Then I gave you char at. Then I gave you length, right?
Yes, sir.
So like this, you can play around with these string functions. So you can just Google and just from somewhere you can just get reference. What are the string functions and try to understand them. So over here we can do string functions in Java. Okay. Go to any other site. Let's go to Java Point. Very good site. And here it will give you the list of the string functions below. Okay. Char at, length. This is also very important. Format. Format function is like when we would use printf in C, how you would write %d, %s, %c. We can use that same structure over here. Then to get a string, to check whether that string contains those. Okay. So maybe tomorrow we'll discuss this in detail a little bit, and then we'll go to the next topic. Okay. And I'll also study on that reg X and get back to you all. Make sense? So try to
Yes.
understand the mutable and
Uh,
immutable
double
properly without
greater than and single greater than. Okay.
okay.
Sir.
Yes, miss.
Sir, I have a question, sir. If you have time, then may I ask sir question, sir?
We'll discuss it tomorrow. You WhatsApp me, Shabana. I'll revert to
Yes.
that on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You text me your
thank you.
question.
Okay, sir.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.